Hi. We're in natural lighting. Is it weird? What are your thoughts? I feel like I'm way too close. I haven't done this in a while. I honestly was inspired to sit in front of the window with no, like without my big studio light thing, because I caught an old video of mine like a year ago when I first moved into this workspace, and for whatever, I don't know if I didn't have the light yet or what, and I just liked seeing it without like all the lights. So I still have a couple on my background, but let me know your thoughts. I don't think I would do this every single time no matter what, but it's nice to just kind of switch it up, and yeah, that's what we're doing today. Okay, well, first of all, we're trying on new makeup and just chatting as we do, and this is the first thing I just put on, but I'm gonna be honest, I filmed a few minutes of the video and I was so weird and like tongue-tied, and then on top of that I was talking about nothing, and I was like, I'm starting over, just starting over. So I have already put this on. This is the Sigma Hydro Melt Lip Mask. They sent this to me in PR, and I hadn't been getting Sigma PR, but I was added back to the list because I wanted to try the Taylor Wynn Brush Trio, so totally worth it. Anyway, this is really nice. It feels so good. It says it's a leave-on lip mask. It's like thick, but not goopy. It's not super sticky. I love this kind of product. The one I've been loving so much recently is the Winky Lux one. I got a comment the other day asking like, what was that one? It's got a gold lid. It's from Target. I really, really like it. This one feels really nice too. It's in the shade Hush. It's not really a shade but feels really nice. It has a slight smell, but not really. I feel like when I first put it on, I'm like, oh, it smells like strawberries. And then it didn't. And now I don't really smell that anymore. So I'm like, where was the strawberry smell coming? I feel like I'm going crazy. Comes with like a little spatula thing. I'll probably end up losing this if I'm being honest with myself. So enjoying so far. I mean, you know, these are first impressions, so who really knows? Clearly there's a thing going on right now with SPF. It is having a moment, and what a great thing to have a moment, because sunscreen is so important. I am prone to getting moles and freckles. I am totally prone to burning, so I'm a prime candidate for skin cancer. And so knowing that, I do go to a dermatologist and get my moles checked out, make sure everything's looking above board. I did a video on it if you want to hear about the experience, because I was so nervous the first time I ever did it. I'll link that video because it had a lot of good information, and if you've never been checked at a dermatologist, you should be. It's not a big deal. Watch that video. Okay. Anyway, I wear SPF pretty much every day, at least on my face. It's just a habit. And a lot of brands are coming out with SPFs, and they like each one better than the last. So I've been sent a lot of SPFs, and I'm excited to try them. But I'm trying to pick which one I want to start. I've got the Bliss Block Star SPF 30. I have the Kapari Antioxidant Face Shield Mineral SPF 30. And then I have the Murad Correct and Protect Serum Broad Spectrum SPF 45. I'm intrigued that this one's a serum, so I kind of want to try that because I think that's kind of odd. And I don't want to open these all at the same time because SPF does have an expiration date. So I want to see like the texture. It is definitely serum-like. No noticeable like smell. It rubs in really easily and the skin looks hydrated. So let's give this a whirl. It says 100% mineral sunscreen serum, melts invisibly into skin to help protect against photo damage. UV responsive technology helps brighten and visibly correct skin tone. I'll take it. Zinc oxide 17% if you were curious. Oh, it does say to shake well. I'm assuming this is a new launch. I feel like we're gonna have to put on a lot. Oh, Jesse. I also got breast milk on this shirt too, so add it to the pile. I feel like we're gonna have to put on a lot though, right? Like to have the actual sun protection. But I just kind of want to see the finish of it. Doesn't have a white cast. I want to say it kind of feels greasy, but not like in a thick, greasy way, just in a, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something similar I could compare this to. Definitely feels a little oily, but I appreciate that it doesn't have a white cast, even though it comes out white initially. It blends in right away. I have tried some awful white cast sunscreens lately that I'm like, nope. There's too many good sunscreens out there that don't have the white cast. Don't settle for the white cast. You don't have to. My skin feels nice and moisturized though. I mean, I really feel like it does. So I'm kind of excited to play with this underneath makeup. I think it even looks nice just on its own as well, but really curious to see how this plays with makeup. So the foundation I've been wanting to try is from Rare Beauty. I think it's a little light for me, but we're just gonna roll with it. It is the Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. This also has SPF 20. I'm just curious. I've heard this has a little more coverage than you think. It's got like a squeezy dropper bottle. The shade I have, 12C. Maybe it'll end up being good. So I'm gonna try using a brush with it just to see. Yeah, it looks a little light. Because sometimes with products like this, if you use it with a sponge, just because it's such a thin formula, I feel like it can really completely take away any coverage it might have given, even though you know I love a sponge. So with. And I even feel like it's kind of like catching on to peach, you know what I mean? Like it's just not really doing anything. I'm gonna wet a sponge. We're gonna try a sponge on the other side. Let's just see. I'm curious what people were loving about this because honestly, it looks better with the sponge than it does with the brush. I feel like it's not catching on to peach fuzz as much, you know? My thing is I'm all for like showing your freckles, like, you know, I don't have a crazy amount to cover, but I still, if I'm gonna take the time to apply makeup, I'd like it to at least cover a little more. Otherwise, I'll just go out without anything or just like with a nice sunscreen because that's kind of how I'm feeling. This is reminding me, maybe a little bit more coverage, but like the Glossier Skin Tint that really doesn't do much, it's kind of reminding me of that. This has maybe slightly more coverage. So let's try to layer on a second layer. I'm gonna try with my hand and see, is it similar to like the MAC Face and Body where if you keep rubbing it, it turns tacky and that's where the magic is? Okay, no, it is not. I definitely prefer it with the sponge, but I don't like this. I can tell you with certainty I don't like it. It's not worth the effort of even putting it on because I don't think it makes my skin look so exponentially better. There's just too many other things that are similar that work better. So I'm gonna say skip it. Not really a fan. If you like this, tell me, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing anything wrong or is it just that I don't have the same taste? Like, you know what I mean? I was genuinely really excited to try that, so I'm actually pretty sad that I'm not a fan. I like a lot from Rare Beauty, but that wasn't it. What next? I have like 15 concealers, not literally, but like a few in front of me I want to try. Let's try this. This is the Lawless Conceal the Deal Concealer. These all look super light. I think I'm gonna go with this very first one I swatched. So this is the shade Cream Puff. So it's their long wearing, skin nourishing, clean AF concealer. That's what they say, I don't know. But it says it's full coverage. This is not a good combo with this. You know what? Why don't we use it all over the face? Let's just cover little bits other than just the under eye because I don't think any of these are a good shade match for me. Let's start with the under eye and then we'll kind of go from there. Oh, it's full coverage. I don't know, like once it kind of blended in, I feel like it's actually not crazy full coverage. You know what I mean? Let me try it with the sponge on this side. Huh. I'm not really liking this either, y'all. I'm not having a good day with makeup, man. I feel like usually it's like hit after hit after hit. I don't even want to put this all over my face. The other concealer is the Boing Bright On Concealer from Benefit. This, though, is more of like a brightener, but you know what? Forget it. Let's just throw it on, baby. What could it hurt? And you know what? While we're at it, let's just go crazy. I'm feeling crazy. I feel like I've been dealing so much, of course, with sweet baby Felicity, that sometimes when I talk to people that aren't babies, like I don't know how to talk. I can't tell a story. Like I can't keep my train of thought going. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, that looks a little bit better, but I've tried the Bright On concealer once before, but it was actually a few weeks ago. So it's just kind of been sitting here. I forgot about it. I felt like it wasn't a full on concealer. It's more of like a brightener. But it still looks nice. Like if I'm going for the look this kind of gives, which is like slightly brightened, slightly corrected, I'm gonna grab my Bobbi Brown concealer in a pot. And you know what I mean? And this is maybe a little bit cheaper than that, but not by a ton. So, but I do think it looks nice. Like my under eyes look a lot better now that I put this on it instead of the Lawless. There was another product from Lawless I tried that I was like, and it was a few years ago and it was really bad. And I think they ended up pulling it from the shelves because maybe there was something like actually wrong with it. So I was already skeptical of trying the concealers. I will try it again. I will give it another go with maybe a more of a full coverage foundation, but so far that was not the stuff of my dreams. But this I do enjoy. It's very much my speed. So we're gonna have to put a powder foundation on to kind of get things going, but putting it all together now it looks a little bit better. Let me throw on my e.l.f. Wow Brow. Shocker. I did finally get a replacement of the M Cosmetics one that I got that arrived broken. They sent me a normal one, you know what I mean? One that's not broken. I've used it the past few days and I've really been enjoying it. So now that I have one that works, I really like it. It's a even smaller, well, I don't want to say smaller, I think it's longer, but it's like a very, very thin brush, so it's really easy to get in there. Shade-wise, it's a little bit different than this. It's a little bit deeper, but I kind of like it. I think I might like that shade better than this. This is, you know, my favorite e.l.f. Wow Brow. I get it in neutral brown, but I feel like it's been pulling red lately. You know what I mean? Can you see that it just like pulls a little bit warmer than my actual hair? So I might try a different shade. If you have a recommendation, let me know. Anywho, so Urban Decay launched a few new palettes. This is the Naked Half Baked. Half Baked was like my favorite shade of eyeshadow it was in the original Naked palette, wasn't it? It's kind of gold. They have it here, I'll swatch it. It's basically a palette based on that shade. So based around that shade, I should say. So here, I'll just swatch it. This is what it looks like. I always loved this. And so I love the idea that, honestly, I mean, this is not that different than the Naked Basics type of palettes, except for me, it's got 3 shimmers I genuinely will wear, because most days, if I'm wearing eyeshadow, it's a singular shimmery shadow. That's it. All over the lid, blended into the crease, no surprise there. And so anytime I've got a little palette that's got that, and then maybe some blending shades that I might use if I have some time, I'm all in. So let me swatch all of these shades. This is a true first impression. The matte one there was powdery. Oh, it's on my shirt. Ooh, baby. Okay, ignoring the concealer I have swatched right there. Here are the different shades in a very random order. Wow. This is like the Urban Decay I've known and loved for years. They're back, baby. So I'm excited. I honestly just want to go dive straight in with Breadwinner because it looks like a copper penny. Look, that is a copper penny straight off the press, literally. Holy cannoli! Talk about a one eyeshadow look. Holy crap, that's, oh my gosh. This might be too much. I gotta go pick my daughter up from preschool. Here's something interesting that you might not think about with like behind the scenes of, you know, having YouTube as my job. I have a mixed bag of like people I know in my life, not like friends, family, but like people you interact with from time to time, like people at my daughter's preschool or your doctor, your dentist. And some of them know what I do and some of them don't. And it just depends on, you know, little conversations you have. And, you know, if it doesn't get brought up, I don't just say, hey, and by the way, I'm a YouTuber. Like, who does that about any job, you know? It's always a mixed bag, and sometimes I forget who knows and who doesn't. This is very pigmented. I need to like fix my skin. I have to be honest, it's bothering me. I know exactly what's gonna fix it. The e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation, baby. Nothing like it. It is truly a miracle worker. You don't need foundation underneath. You really don't. It will do the job for you. This is why I have always loved powder foundations. This like reignited my love for it. Boom, baby. Skin looks so much more perfected, so much more even. I have had questions like, okay, Jessica, I tried it. I don't get it. I feel like it's very heavy or it can be very heavy. Like this is a very full coverage powder foundation. Even this, like I'm using this kind of denser brush and it can still get really heavy. I'll usually set it with setting spray and that will kind of help with that. But I still like the way it looks, especially if you're putting it on top of something that's slightly oily or greasy or dewy. It tends to look a little better over that, but I agree with you. I mean, it's still going to look like powder. So you should go into it knowing that. I don't think I've made that clear, but I love that stuff. I wear the shade 150C, by the way, if you were curious. Okay, what were we talking about? Somebody help me out here. Oh, in my life, okay. Genevieve has been going to preschool now since January. That was when we started her. And she just switched to the next classroom up, which is so exciting. She was so excited about it. I was picking her up and there were a couple of like aides in the room because it was like later in the day. These were instructional aides or teacher aides that I hadn't met before. And so I went in, I'm like, oh, I'm here for Gigi, and I'm helping Gigi get her stuff. And one of them said something like, oh, are you the mom does like makeup YouTube videos, something like that. And I was like, yeah. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wait, I don't think I've told anyone that. So I'm like, well, how did they find out? Did someone like search my name randomly, or you know what I mean? Or maybe I told one person, or maybe Gigi mentioned, but I'm like, Gigi doesn't really know what I do. I mean, she watches me do it, but she doesn't really even understand yet fully what like a job is, you know? Anyway, my point of the story is it's always funny because I never really know who knows what about what I do. Not that it really matters, but probably 80% of the time someone finds out or I tell them what I do because they ask, I'm never wearing makeup. And so I'm like, yeah, I do YouTube videos and like, you know, I vlog and I talk about makeup, and they're like, oh, makeup? I'm like, and I'm never wearing makeup when I tell them, ever. And so then I always have to make that joke like, oh, well, yeah, but you wouldn't be able to tell because I'm not wearing any makeup. And I feel like it's like a broken record. Like that is exactly how the conversation goes every single time. But the thing that most people ask right away when I tell them that is, now, how does that work? How do you make money on YouTube? And so I'm like, it's such a funny thing because I feel like it's one of those jobs that people feel comfortable asking questions about and asking about how you make money, which with really any other job, you would never ask someone. But then again, I guess it's kind of obvious how you make money with other jobs versus YouTube. It is kind of weird, but it's just interesting. Like there's different rules when it comes to like YouTube being your job, I feel like. So obviously I only use the one shadow. I don't even feel like for this I need to dip into anything else, but this is awesome. They have a couple of other ones, so if you want to check it out, they had various colored ones, like I said, but this was definitely the one that if you're like me, that you would probably like. Very neutral friendly, and I just love it. The packaging is kind of cute too. Oh, I was like, what is that? It's got the letters in half baked all around it. Almost looks Halloween-y, right? Halloween-y! So I'm throwing on some quick, just like tight lining because I'm going to use a liquid liner. I'm curious, what are the steps in your makeup routine that if you're gonna do makeup, you never skip? I feel like it's different for everyone. And like, obviously when I'm trying on makeup on camera, I'm gonna be doing most of the steps because that's just, you know, I'm trying different stuff. But I'm kind of curious, like for me, if I'm putting on makeup that day and it's, you know, I don't wear makeup every day, I just don't, period. But if I'm taking the time to put it on, the things I don't skip are SPF, genuinely. Most days I wear SPF. And then some kind of like tinted moisturizer. Like I'm not gonna do my eyes and not have some kind of moisturizer or, you know, like tinted moisturizer, foundation, something on. So usually some kind of foundation and concealer, something in my brows, like that can be it. But if I'm going a little step further, then I'm gonna do liner and mascara. Like that's the other piece of it. But like most weekends, unless if we're leaving the house and doing something, I'll put on makeup, but most weekends, I don't. Even if we're going out and running errands like to the store and stuff, I just don't. It's one of those things that I can not do and save time, and we're usually kind of relaxing. And anyway, I didn't even tell you. So the next thing we're trying, this video is off the rails. The Flower Beauty Forever Wear Winged Liner. You better believe I wanted to read it as winged liner. Why? What is that? So let's swatch it. It's ooh, nice and black. It is a felt tip. I was just looking through my like liner drawer. Some of them are so old and I swatched them and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is so crusty. So I threw out like a handful of my liners. I still need to go through more of them. So I like genuinely do need some liquid liner in my life. It's very black, very easy to apply. Now my next question for you. I'm chock full of questions. I'm just, a lot of times when I'm applying something quietly and filming it, you know, my mind just reels. And I was just thinking about like, do you like when a YouTuber, and I'm using myself as an example because I'm genuinely curious. Do you like when a YouTuber talks about other things and about the makeup? Like in a video exactly like this. I obviously will talk about things that are just popping into my mind, even if it's not about the makeup. And then I get back to the makeup usually. Do you like when a YouTuber does that, or would you prefer it just be like stick to the makeup? Or does it depend on the YouTuber? Because I'm thinking about that with my own like watching practices and you know, who I watch and how I feel about like their thoughts. And I definitely nowadays, I don't watch a lot of strictly makeup videos unless it's someone I really, really love watching, or I know they like interject other things too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of curious. I know it's not going to be the same because we're all so different. We're watching for different reasons. Some of us are like long-term YouTube watchers. Like you just like, you use it like TV. That's like, if I'm going to watch something, especially if it's just me, it's always YouTube. Always. Well, that's not totally true. Sometimes it's The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Parks and Rec. Anyway, so let me throw on some mascara. I don't have a new one to try. Also, Bite Beauty closing? Who knew, right? Like, I would never have guessed it. I was actually very surprised to hear that. I don't know what's going on, you know, I don't know why. I mean, obviously it's, I'm sure, a bottom line kind of thing, but it still was very surprising. The Bite Beauty Upswing Mascara, I liked. It just dries out so fast. And now I'm wondering, maybe these were like old batches, because if they knew, maybe they just weren't like making new ones. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but just guess. Isn't it kind of funny that socially, it's like a social understanding that I was just thinking about how we have not watched the newest season of Ozark, which is crazy because I'm dying to know how it ends, but we just haven't. Like, it's just at night we end up watching something a little more lighthearted, like AFV or Hotel Impossible. And so because of that, we end up not watching any of the shows we need to finish. But I was just thinking about, wow, like, I don't know how, please don't spoil it. And that's what I'm getting to. You know, it's such a social understanding that you don't spoil something. You know, people could just post the spoiler in big bold letters somewhere and you could be scrolling Twitter or Facebook and just see it. But it's a social understanding that you don't do that. That if you're gonna mention a spoiler, you say spoiler alert or whatever. And it's kind of amazing that we all like subscribe to that notion that you just don't do it. You don't spoil things for people. It's so nice. It's so nice that we do that for each other, you know? It's kind of funny. It's like a phenomenon. All right, I just now saw the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jess, come on. I gotta go pick that little girl up. I'm gonna set my under eye really quickly. Not loving the face and under eye and all that today with 2 concealers on. And anyway, all right, so what else? Oh, I need to throw on a bronzer. I've been doing kind of a wider swath of bronzer lately. Like, I'll kind of put it in that general area and then I'll just kind of blend it kind of widely. You know what I mean? I've kind of been digging that. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, by the way. So for blush, we are finally gonna try the Lauramercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. I've got quite a few shades here. I have been dying to try these. I was mentioning this in some other video. I think the name is like Weirdly Genius because it was just weird enough of a name, Tinted Moisturizer Blush, to make everyone curious, even though really all it is a liquid blush. You know what I mean? But I think the idea is that it's supposed to be a little more sheer, more forgiving. I don't know if that's true or not. Ooh, this is totally my kind of blush. So that shade was Mediterranean. This one is called La Piscine. Oh my gosh. These are obviously more geared. I mean, they're much lighter. Coastline. Oh my gosh, I love these all. This is Provence. Oh my gosh. That one's Corsica. There, I ran out of place. So, wow, these are all so pretty. So I can rule out Corsica and Coastline. They're a little bit deeper than I typically like to wear, but I'm really, really torn. I obviously have a lot of like orange going on, so I feel like I should go more the peachy route. So I'm torn between Mediterranean and Provence. Provence is so freaking beautiful, but the one that's a little bit peachier is Mediterranean. And so I think I'm gonna go with that one. I'm sorry, Mediterranean. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong because I thought it was just cut off, but it's not. So I'm assuming it's like maybe French for it or something like that. Please, someone tell me, educate me, please. All right, so we're gonna give that one a whirl. It says just tap a little bit on. So that is what we're gonna do. I love the way it makes the skin look like that little bit of, that's why I freaking love cream blush, man. It makes the skin look so youthful and dewy and pretty. And a lot of these formulas like this one are kind of foolproof where you can't screw them up too badly. And if you do, you just kind of grab a damp sponge and tap it out a little bit, you know? I am way into the like heavier blush look right now. I just really am. So big fan. That was so easy to use. I'm excited to have a couple of shades that should work for me. So next up in the lineup is this. Oh my gosh, the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. I've had so many questions about this. If it's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, it is the exact same packaging, down to the fact that you twist this to open it and squeeze it in. I mean, it is exactly the same size, everything, as the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So with the Charlotte Tilbury one, I typically will just, that might even be too much. I was just wearing the Charlotte Tilbury one yesterday, if I'm thinking correctly. And yeah, that's exactly how it blends in. Holy cannoli. Oh crap, I just got that fully in my brow hair. That's exactly how it looks, you guys. I can't believe it took this long for someone to freaking dupe that Charlotte Tilbury. I'm like, people have similar formulas, but you know, putting it in the same packaging was really smart, because then you suddenly are like, wait, I think this is a dupe for that, you know? I can't detect a super big difference between these. I just love the way it catches the light. I will definitely include this in an upcoming dupes video so you can see them side by side, see them being applied, so you can really decide, and I can decide if they're really dupes for each other. But y'all, I mean, just feeling it right then, that is so similar. I can tell you right away, you really don't have to buy the Charlotte Tilbury one if you want to, because it looks just the same. So for lips, I want to try these two things. They're from M Cosmetics. This is their Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner in Kitten. I'm assuming these will work well together. Let me see. Oh no, those are not going to work well together. We're just going to use this then. This is the M Cosmetics Lip Cushion Tinted Lip Luminizer in Venetian Rose. Looks so pretty. I mean, they could maybe work together, but I love that this is, it feels glossy. Like it really is a glossy lipstick. Okay, I really like this color a lot. I don't necessarily love it with this eyeshadow, shocker, but this is very much a My Lips But Better kind of shade. By the way, the Kitten lip liner, if you wanted to see it, looks like that. So let's kind of go through everything we tried and kind of decide, like, what do I really think is really good already? What would I skip on? And what do I need more time with? So the top things I feel like out of what I tried, my favorites were definitely the Flower Beauty highlighter. I mean, like I said, this feels like the freaking $40 whatever Charlotte Tilbury one, just like it. And then I really liked the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blushes. I was dragging my feet on these, and I think I mentioned it in a previous like wish list and anti-haul video, because I just felt like, okay, yes, it's another liquid blush. Like, is it really that special? But I don't think it's like so much better than other ones at a similar price point. But I think it's really nice. So I'm excited to try it some more. I could see these becoming a favorite, especially if there's a certain shade I hone in on and I fall in love with. I like this peach shade, but I have a feeling La Piscine and Provence will end up edging that one out, because these are like the light pinks, and the like light rosy pinks are definitely what I prefer over like a peach shade. So, and then this Naked eyeshadow palette, man, the half-baked one, love it. Love it. The formula is there. Like, obviously a one shadow look works too, but I'm just so excited they're coming out with some new stuff that for me, that actually is interesting to me. I should say that, because they're coming out with new stuff, but a lot of times they're color-based eyeshadows, and you know me, I'm not big on wearing colors, so I just kind of move on and I don't buy it, you know? So that's exciting. The things that I just feel like I need more time with, the Murad SPF, I liked it. It went on really easily. I feel like it's looking fine under makeup, but I'll be curious to try this with foundations I already know and love, because using it with the Rare Beauty thing that I wasn't a fan of, it's hard to tell. But yeah, the Rare Beauty I would skip. The Lawless concealer I would skip, even just based on using it the one time. I'm enjoying the Boing Bright On concealer, but I don't think, I'm gonna keep playing with it. I don't think this is ever gonna be like a holy grail product for me that I would need to repurchase. I really enjoyed the Flower Beauty liquid liner. It feels just like every other liquid liner out there. I feel like they're all pretty good. Like, it's kind of hard to pick favorites in that realm, because I have like 10 favorites, because they're all very similar and very good. So that's exciting. What else did I try that was new? Oh yeah, and the lip cushion. Listen, if you're placing an M Cosmetics order, because you have to buy her products on her site, first of all, get a % off. You can give them your email and you get a %, so make sure you're not spending full price. But if you're already placing an order, I would throw one of these in, because I really, really like it. But their eyeshadow palettes are where it is at. I also really enjoy a lot of their other products too that I've tried recently. Oh, I like their Color Drop serum blushes. They have like bronzer sticks I'm still kind of messing with, but their eyeshadow palettes are absolutely top tier, like favorites of mine. I love them so much. So definitely give those a check if you were thinking about placing an order. Okay, that's everything. I gotta go pick up my daughter. But I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I guess I matchy matched. I felt like Jasmine today from Aladdin, you know? I love you all. Thank you for watching. If you wanna catch more of my like trying makeup, new makeup videos, I have a playlist I will link down below if you wanna watch more of those next. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.